Things are hotting up. We declared a fixture do or die for the first time last week, and there is certainly no room for error here as Gloucester-Hartpury face Trailfinders. A whopping 10 of Sean Lynn's athletes were in Red Roses camp this week, 8 of whom are straight back here in club colours. The world-class duo of Maud Muir and Emma Singh, they get a rest, but in Welsh juggernaut Cecilia Tuipulotu and Amir Venner in scintillating form, they've got 2 exceedingly able deputies. Zoe Aldcroft was giving her first press conference as England captain on Wednesday, but will be letting her rugby do the talking this afternoon from the Champions engine room. There's a North American flavour to this pack, which makes up for in dynamism what it might lack in size. Canada's Rory Wood was eye-catching on debut against Harlequins. Compatriot Tyson Bukaboom is one of the game's most tireless operators. And today's battle at the base between Alex Matthews and Trailfinders skipper Kate Zachary is the sort of head-to-head we'll all be telling our grandchildren about. Julia Schell and Lisa Thompson are both triple threat playmakers inside a backline crackling with the promise of mischief. 5 rounds of regular season action remain, but calling the rugby regular feels scandalous. The PWR continues to be anything but. We had a belter down at Sandy Park last Sunday as Bears fought for their lives. You could throw a handkerchief over the top of the table, and everyone is trying to avoid the 2 banana skins labelled Loughborough and Trailfinders. Cue the visitors, 1 spot below Lightning in the standings and backing themselves to prove just as slippery. The side who stormed to 6th on debut last year have continued to devastate ball in hand, and although 5 of their last 6 have ended in defeat, the 85-point thriller they played out against Quins a fortnight ago was a warning shot across the bowels of this league. Make no mistake, this bunch fizz with the best of them. The fans in these parts have high expectations these days. Gloucester-Hartpury undefeated at home en route to retaining their title last season. And after a few weeks pre-Christmas, they have since described as sticky, they are looking back to their best. The words 3 and Pete are just starting to be whispered in the West Country. 5 straight wins, including beating Bears, Saracens, Chiefs and Loughborough twice. The champions at the ground where the signage might say Kingsholm, but those in the know talk all about its resident queens. And these days, a side led by the Red Roses captain, Zoe Aldcroft, has the opportunity to lift the PWR trophy, the Six Nations pot and the World Cup in 2025. Not that she will be looking beyond the next 80 minutes. For the 5th time this campaign, Nikki O'Donnell finds herself in the middle with Ian Key and Fiona Brunt to her left and right, and the all-seeing David Rose in her ear. Gloucester-Hartpury in cherry and white, Trailfinders in black and purple. 111 tries between this lot so far this season. The side who call themselves the Circus and the one whose emblem is literally a jet plane. Hold on to your hats. The boot of Llaki George finds Canadian international Julia Schell, and that threatened to be an inauspicious start to Mia Venner's first outing in a fullback jersey since May 2023. But she tidied up nicely. Although ball placement now allowing a quick turnover for Trailfinders, knocking it on in the process, so scrum advantage to the champions, who's co-captain. With that trademark crisp service, Mo Hunt gets them back underway and heading coast to coast. Beckett with a dainty pirouette and a thump over the centre line. Venner found a half gap there through the hands of Brock now. Hannah Jones, Wales' captain, has popped up in that wide channel, and it takes 2 Trailfinders to stop her in her tracks. Neve Jones clatters into Kate Zachary. Tackle made, and away rolls the US Eagles skipper. There are leaders everywhere you look out on pitch in this one. Hyatt on to George. Those 2 playmakers in tandem, but this time the teenage inside centre in at first receiver. Down the short side, through Beckett.
Thank you.
Carson with a lovely flat pass onto her new captain, Aldcroft. What a first touch for Zoe Aldcroft. And this Cecilia Tuipulotu up towards the 22. They have more visits to Gloucester-Hartpury than any other side in the competition.
Not now, not now.
Pip Hendy's first action of the afternoon is to make inroads, and they're 15 metres from what would be the start of dreams. Down the short side, 3 faces 2. Hyatt now carrying hard. Tackle had to be made and was by Jess Cooksey. Ball still stays red. Here is Brock.
Advantage.
5 metres and now a penalty to play with.
Penalty for not rolling, but she's injured, OK?
Philippa Tussett from Wales International has joined me up in commentary and has had 2 whole minutes to assess the opening bout of this one.
Yeah, thank you. Look, we saw some great examples there of that tip-on pass that Hartpury love to utilise, that little just extra pass to get a couple of metres. And I think initially Trailfinders did a really good defensive set. They didn't sort of shoot up, they just stayed calm, they stayed composed, came up and put a bit of slow pressure on. Key intervention from Kate Zachary, where she could just hold up the player and just slow things down, just allowed the rest of the team to set. But inevitably, you can't let Hartpury have multiple phase, because with the simplest of play, which is what they've just done, one-up runners, they've got themselves into Trailfinders 22.
Into each other.
Fine, thanks, Rosie.
No other side in the competition has scored more 6+ phase tries this campaign. They are almost like a men's Exeter Chiefs side of old, aren't they? Once they're camped there tends to be one outcome.
And it's due to the fantastic quality of players that you've got in Hartpury. They do the basics well, which means they can keep hold of that ball for multiple phase.
They love a quick tap, in no small part thanks to the woman who just walked through your screen there, Mo Hunt. But a little knock to the nose of new signing Grace Moore means that just delayed a little bit here. It's taken the sting out of proceedings, which will suit the underdogs, the visitors, just fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little chance. You can just see in the backfield there, Kate Zachary going around, captain the Trailfinders, talking to the players. You know, that was a very intense set there. So some review, some pointers. Keep it together, girls.
Yeah, we'll not put time on until you've got a replacement.
So Grace Moore will be heading from the field for the moment.
I'll just wait until the replacement's on and then we'll put time back on.
We're having a replacement from Barney Madison's side, and getting stripped off below us is Rowena Burnfield, the 50-time Red Rose, so a pretty handy person to have available, but definitely an earlier introduction than Row Burnfield was expecting.
Yeah, very much. And this is something where I think we've seen the evolution of the Trailfinders, a new team, but it was actually in regards to the amount of players that they signed for this season. There's a lot more players interested and coming into the team, which gives them that strength and depth. And like you say there, you've got a seasoned former international coming off the bench.
Okay, girls, take the line.
Well, it took an awfully long time to get the ball buried in the corner, but there was no doubting where this one was headed. Gloucester-Hartpury love a trundle and a rumble over from a driving line out, but you've got to nail your darts first. And all they've done there is gift it back to the visitors, who will play from deep. In the pocket is the Maple. Shell charged down by Hunt, gathered just about and dotted down. Well, they fluffed their lines when it came to the delivery, but there's no one on a rugby pitch who will outthink or outfoot speed Mo Hunt. 5 points just gifted to the champions.
And when I describe her as a terrier, I mean it in the most complimentary manner, because when she is attacking, she is everywhere. She's chatting, she's bossing, but in defence, she hustles. This is just work rate. Look, her charge down there, she's not the biggest player, but she leapt up, and just as a chance, that was an extra in defence. She put in that effort, and she massively got the rewards for it.
Tenacity personified from an athlete who was involved in 15% of Gloucester-Hartpury's tries last year. And that's the first kick of Flaky George's season off the tee. Emma Singh has had the tee all campaign long, but that was straight as an arrow. It's 7-0 at Kingsholm.
Brilliant start there from Gloucester-Hartpury after, like you say, they just flapped their lines with their line out, but That's what the sign of a test, like a class team, when they can turn defence into attack.
Ball spilt there by Hendy, and rising with it is Vicky Laughlin, formerly of Worcester Warriors, more recently of GB Sevens, was out in Dubai playing under former Trailfinders head coach Giselle Mather and helping GB Sevens to their best ever finish in the desert. Sevens, a format that Lisa Thompson knows well, and there she was on an arcing run, the Scottish inside centre. Little truck up there from Olivia Leatherman. This Thompson onto White on the wing. We will be saying her name all afternoon long. Grace White. Here now, Abby Burton, freshly back from her first Red Roses camp. And speaking of Red Roses, it's Burnfield who bursts into the red zone for the first time today for Trailfinders. Shell's kick, Laughlin's chase. We'll have a line out down this end.
Not a bad option that at all. Some really good go-forward momentum there from Trailfinders. Busting a couple of lines, making a few metres. They pulled them left, they pulled them right. And then a bit of heads-up rugby. A kick through, bit speculative. There was a chase on it, but I think it was more just to push them back and say, right, Hartpury, play out here.
Niamh Jones finds her target.
Use it. You've changed two.
And our referee makes it very clear that Mo Hunt is to get this out and do something with it, which she does. So clean as you like, that exit.
On the edge.
Let's see what Trailfinders can do here through
Edges you.
Paige Stathopoulos, US Eagle, newly signed. This is her first start for Barney Madison's side. She's on a short-term deal, the 31-year-old, hoping to go to a World Cup and to cause what mayhem she can in the mid-table in the process. But brilliant work there from Steph Else, disrupting that one.
Yeah, and initially I thought it was a good challenge up in the air, but they just deemed that the player was actually made contact with the Trailfinders player. You can't do that in the air, so that was what the referee saw there. So it's ball back to Trailfinders.
I'll go right.
Still a great position for them to attack from.
Amory's put in front rows of Leatherman, Stathopoulos and Wood, Carson Jones and Tuipulotu. The women in purple, all from across the Atlantic, up against a British Isles front row. Zachary juggles that one. I wondered if that hadn't quite hit the deck there. What do you think, Philippa?
It's just a scrum.
I think the referee deemed it was still loss of control.
Same mark.
Tricky though, tricky that. I thought that was quite a nice little juggling act there by Kate Zachary. I thought she redeemed herself, but let's see if we can watch that again. Okay, so keep a lookout for the player at the back there, number 8. The ball's going to come to her now.
Crouch.
Tough lines.
Bind.
Well, Nikki O'Donnell is a braver woman than you or I, because I think I'd have let Kate Zachary get away with that one. She is a charismatic totemic presence. George, the little wraparound onto Hunt. This is lovely stuff from Gloucester-Hartpury. They're moving through the gears here and finding Nell Metcalf out in that 5-metre channel. The speed of the handling, the crispness of the ball movement. This is what they do when they're in full sail. George finding Hyatt, and here is Mia Venner, who always has a little dig first and wonders what she might achieve ball in hand. Else over the top, but over the top of Else was Abby Burton, who's had a week to remember the open side.
Yeah, absolutely named in that England squad. We saw her earlier in the summer, didn't we, with GB Sevens. But what about this for that wraparound play? Mo Hunt there times that release to perfection. And they just went edge to edge, didn't they? Gloucester-Hartpury, when they get that roll on, they get that flow, they are so deadly. So that was a key intervention there. You see, tackle down, release, so she can go back in on that ball. And if she can't get the ball, it's deemed then that that player on the floor is probably holding on to it. And you cannot do that on the ground.
The tight head, you can see there, speaking to Stathopoulos, is Rory Woods, another newcomer to this Trailfinders pack. 6 foot tall, 24 years old, and oh so dynamic. Caught plenty of eyes on debut against Quins a fortnight ago.
Hands out, no red. Not now, not now.
Niamh Jones told in no uncertain terms to keep her hands out the cookie jar. Something that she probably says a lot herself in her day job. She's a nanny, actually, is Niamh Jones, so I bet she's said that to other people in recent times. George hoists that one high, and it's Venner versus Shell in the air here at Kingsholm. Ball knocked on by Venner, so it'll be a scrum put in for Trailfinders.
Four, off feet, playing the ball.
In fact, it'll be more than that. Penalty given in the end against the head, against Sarah Beckett. So Lisa Thompson charged with clearing duties. She's not found touch. You cannot afford to not take those opportunities against a side of Gloucester-Hartpury's calibre, and you suspect that the back-to-back champions are going to hammer that advantage home now. Hunt onto George, options around her, poetry in motion from red jerseys, weaving intricate, bewitching patterns for the London visitors. Matthews clattering into 2 Trailfinders with a little stutter step, looking for soft shoulders and finding none. Skip pass eliciting oohs from the stands before us. There's a good crowd here today.
All back.
Hunt finds herself very well wrapped up by Woods, but just about, look at that fingertip stuff, and Tuipulotu is in his acting scrum half. Mia Venner there with the point, just directing Hannah Jones back in field. She probably won't thank her for that, because it involved running into Shire Pinnock, which I think is best avoided at all times. Hunt finds Thompson, Hendy finds Thompson, and Beckett's there with the tackle. Woods pop pass onto Burton, and queuing up for it now.
Retire, retire.
Pair of centres, but it's back to Shell they go. And Mia Venner with a little moment of sorcery just to keep that ball in play.
Counter is fine.
Look at the counter up, the appetite there from Thompson and Zachary. This is lung emptying, leg sapping stuff. There will be some tired bodies out there, and we've had 12 minutes of rugby. End over end from George, finding Rolly, who fires up her force field, but this time is tackled. So evasive, if you give her an inch. Shell flat and onto Leatherman, and the read from Beckett was lethal. Stymied whatever that might have turned into right in its tracks. Venner, who's had a busy first 10 minutes already.
I can't reward your counter, she's on the wrong side.
Hunt goes quickly, a try already, and we'll add a little chicken wing offload to her tally, shall we? There's the carry, in and off her shoulder, an advantage to flex here.
Penalties here, got 10.
So clever by Mo Hunt, not just the quick tap, because she could see how the defenders weren't quite organised, but she specifically runs at players that she knows aren't 10, because as soon as they make contact with her, that's instantly another penalty. So it's almost like you're giving yourself a free hit, if you like. If something goes wrong, you can come back for the penalty like they've just done.
And equally symptomatic of someone who's done their homework, because no side concedes more penalties in defence than Trailfinders. They're making 170 tackles per match, Philippa. If you can stress them and strain them, you're going to get field position.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, it is unfortunately an area of their weakness, although you've got to say with Gloucester-Hartpury, their penalty count is pretty good, but their yellow cards have been up there, so still something a little bit of work for them to do there as well.
Grace Moore is back with us. She's got something up each nostril. She's in the midfield just behind that maul. There she is there, doing her best walrus impression.
Thank you.
As Gloucester-Hartpury go hunting for a second. We've hardly seen Trailfinders ball in hand, which is how they like to play their rugby.
Okay, we can't play an advantage. It's gone forward from here. Black scrum.
They'll have a launch opportunity here.
So the maul's moved around her. She hasn't changed her bind. She's came through the middle. Here we go, girls.
Oh, she's not going to appreciate that, let's be honest. I mean, they say rugby isn't glamorous. I don't know what they're on about.
I'll tell you what, while we're embarrassing Grace Moore, let's actually big up the last 12 months for her, because it has been an explosion onto the scene, really, quite late on in her career, but at the heart of Ireland's WXV3 win 12 months ago, their third place finish in the Six Nations. She featured in that win against the Black Ferns in September, and she's become a mainstay of this Trailfinders pack since moving from Saracens.
Big moment there from Hartpury. That was dominance in the scrum. This is an area where, unfortunately, Trailfinders have struggled, and Gloucester-Hartpury have had great success.
That's what happens when a 95% scrum meets a 78% scrum. And they'll have another go at this driving maul. Or perhaps something a little sparklier from this bottom-hand corner.
And I think that's why we've seen some new signings there in the front row, the Canadian and the American coming off to try and just bolster it, because like we talked about them in attack, that free flare rugby, but you've got to have your set piece as well.
Jones finds Aldcroft, and this looks promising. Look at them get to work. A cherry and white tractor on the rumble. That's the penalty. Referee's patience wears thin. Hunt finding George, opts to put it on the boot, lash it over the top of Rolly, who tumbles, can't quite be gathered by Metcalf. But we will come back for the penalty, and they are looking very comfortable down this end of the field.
Changing bind, sliding up the side.
That was a very ambitious cross-field kick there, but in fairness, they had the advantage.
Forward 2 players.
So that's quite often when you will see teams go for it, because like I say, when you've got penalty advantages, it's almost like a free hit. No matter what you do, you'll come back and you'll get another shot at it.
Use the 5.
So we'll just look at it again now. She chooses it because she hasn't got many players, but she has got one out wide and not much defence there. So it just been a couple of metres shorter, it could have been a dream situation.
It's Matthews found by Jones this time, and now she's got it back, running hard into Leatherman, who combines with her compatriot Zachary to make the tackle. Hunt excavating, and now finding Carson, who's got a little bit of help in the form of Matthews.
I can't reward you, 2 is on the wrong side.
Another penalty, and as Hunt is rightly pointing out, these are starting to mount.
Kate.
Oh, that's frustrating, that is, because Grace Moore was in a brilliant position over that ball, and they really needed that turnover. But unfortunately, there was another Trailfinders player in the ruck. You've got to make an attempt to get out there, and you're on the ground. It's hard because there's bodies everywhere, but you have to at least be seen to making an attempt.
Pardon? Yeah. You're fine, 2 hadn't rolled.
We saw the Sheriam Whites win a territory on their last scrum, but we also know how much they love to use it as a platform. Dan Murphy speaking in the week about how, unlike a Bristol Bears who go for that attacking scrum, they love to use this to unleash their back line. And when you look across that field there, Hyatt and George, Venner and Hendy, Jones, Metcalf right on that far touchline. The talent, well, it's the envy of many.
Set! Stay high, both of you.
There's the scrum, there's the platform. What can they conjure up with it? It was Hyatt on that inside line, out to in and accelerating hard with it. Hunt now finding on her shoulder Beckett. She's going to have to really rootle for this one. There are Trailfinders everywhere she looks. Queuing up for it, but didn't need the one of them, because Mackenzie Carson was there with hands open. Over she bursts, and she slams another 5 onto the champions tally.
Lovely, hard, direct, uncompromising run from Mackenzie Carson. We talk about players that are coming to form. Gosh, she's had a year of it. Debuted for England in 2023. She's 20 caps now. Since she debuted, she started every game for England. There are not many players that can say that. Just one of the incredible players that Gloucester-Hartpury have at their disposal.
Two from two for Claykie George. And a try for Mackenzie Carson. Well, it was George on kicking duties, but as mentioned, Philippa, no Emma Singh today for the reigning champions. She's watching on in the stands. Sees Mia Venner scooch to fullback. Emma Singh's played all but 21 minutes this year. You don't need me to reel off her statistics. They are off the charts. But how important is it that Gloucester-Hartpury learn to function without her?
Incredibly important, because she is at the heart of everything they do. I always refer to it as top trumps. And if you were playing a top trumps game here, she would be top of the stats for every single thing. I mean, the amount of defenders she beats, the amount of counter-attacking running she does. It's so brilliant to hear that she's been announced in the England squad for the upcoming Six Nations, because the amount of PWR team of the weeks that she is in is just ridiculous.
Let go.
Quarter gone, 14-0 lead Gloucester-Hartpury, whose fly half George finds herself in the backfield. Sizes up Thompson, who's done a fine job of getting her hands over it. A sevens turnover, if ever I saw one, from the Olympian.
Yeah, absolutely there, Lisa Thompson. She was part of the GB team in Paris this year. 64 international caps for Scotland. Very experienced player.
Use the edge of that tap, girls.
Thompson, who was our player of the match at Welford Road when Trailfinders produced that brilliant second half performance to beat Leicester Tigers back in round 5. She's in the backfield now, down from Zachary on to Burton. Look at that, the two sevens players in searing, gorgeous tandem. 3 metres out, that was straight from the playbook and onto the 4G here in the West Country.
Same as the one over there, you're off your feet.
Desperate scramble defence from the tabletoppers. They had to plug the gaps there, and plug them they did.
Oh, it's such a shame for Trailfinders. That was some brilliant play.
Well, that, a thing of beauty from Thompson and Burton in the midfield, but ultimately amounting to nothing. So let's get the thoughts, shall we, from the coach's box, because Barney Madison has the pleasure of Ashley Wilmot's company.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Claire. What a perfect time to come to you, Barney, because that was a brilliant phase of play there. What did you make of it?
Yeah, we've identified a couple of things just in the week, and obviously we're trying to take a little bit of advantage of them. But again, it's probably the only little bit of play we've actually had the ball.
Look, this is going to be a hard place to come. The reigning champions, they love to play edge-to-edge stuff. How much has defence been at the forefront this week?
Yeah, it's been a massive part of it. It's a big thing we were trying to go after, was just a little bit more time in our contact, which we haven't really done yet. Again, so with a team like Gloucester, with all their internationals, when they get front football, they're dangerous to stop.
I mean, you're looking pretty dangerous right now, though. You pleased with what you're seeing?
Yeah, again, but we just lost the ball again. So again, when we do have the ball, we've got to look after it.
And just want to quickly talk to you about, you're bolstered by those two internationals in your front row. Is the scrum, the line out, those set pieces at the forefront of your mind as well?
Yeah, it's a massive part of the game. If we can give our backline like launch plays to play off with solid set piece, it'll help massively. But again, we need to get a bit more parity in that area.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
We just need the ball at this stage, Trailfinders. We know how lethal they can be with it.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, I think Barney Madison summed it up there, didn't he? He's like, yeah, we're getting the ball, but not keeping the ball. And you do need to, because they've got some big, strong runners there, and we know how exciting their back line is, but they need a platform to play off. You can't be running at a defence, especially like Hartpury's, when they're organised and they're on their feet and they're communicating. You need to trouble them, you need to get in behind them, and that can take a couple of phases.
One of the big mantras at the moment here at Kingsholm is race to ruck. The idea of having an appetite at the breakdown, as many individuals on feet as possible, yes, but also being hungry and going after opportunities there. We're seeing that come to the fore. And there'll be attacking breakdowns for the foreseeable, because here they go off that rock-solid scrum. Metcalf in off her wing and being hauled down by Laughlin.
Not lifted.
Hunt has her co-captain on her left shoulder. Zachary combining there with Laughlin with the tackle. George fixes, swivels, finds Venner, who frees her hands with a deft little offload. Floated that onto Matthews, who's so swiftly back to her feet. There's the race to ruck. There's the appetite we were talking about. Options out wide, only can't quite be gathered by Beckett. Deemed to have gone backwards. This is a one-on-one that's worth the ticket price alone. Sizing up Cooksey there was Metcalf. And now the turnover goes the way of the visitors. Leatherman at the base of that one, going hunting for it was Else. In the pocket is Raleigh.
Retire, come back first.
He gave that a real thump, but again, it's the third or fourth time that the Londoners have failed to find touch to clear their lines safely. Aldcroft getting cosy with Burson, who is slow to rise. That was some shot on both sides of the ball. Metcalf, now this is Hendy. Hannah Jones has to floor it, pins her ears back. Brilliant tackle from Shell. And now a foot in touch. Crisis averted. How about the race back from the Canadian fly half?
Oh, it's brilliant work ethic, wasn't it? That's two opportunities there Hartpury have had to score, and unfortunately they haven't been as clinical as you would normally expect, but credit to Trailfinders and the defensive effort. And like you say there, Shell was twisted, turned inside and out, and she still managed to identify where the threat was and make that tackle. But like you say, they've got to kick away.
Julia Shell, formerly of the Castaway Wanderers back in Canada. I don't think she's ever wandered in her life. Yeah, everything she does with such intent and such an asset to a side like Trailfinders. Fly half, centre, fullback. She's played them all this season. Part of an increasingly glittering backline. We just want to see get their hands on the ball.
5 girls.
Get their hands on the ball in the right positions of the field. But right now, after that big defensive set, they just want to clear their line. So kick it away and push Hartpury back.
The order here, you think, is Rosie. Get it into the stands. Get it off. Pinnock just about tipped that down and onto Bukaboom, and it's Amory barking orders, assembling a couple of heavies because they need a bit of breathing room here. Perhaps wary off the back of the Mo Hunt charge down, which opens the scoring in this one. Now they send it back to Thompson. Safe as you like, but not finding touch. They're not as obvious an error as the charge down, as the score, but they are costly. And it means that, again, it's Trailfinders backpedaling on defensive detail, where we know they concede penalties and we know they can prove porous. Else has Brock and Matthews, 3 scintillating back rowers, all combining there as into the 22. Again come the champions. Pinnock landed really awkwardly there, but just about got her hands to the spilt ball. Laughlin on to Thompson. Tracking back now is Jones. This is a centre up against a hooker, but underestimate Neve Jones at your peril. Essential tackle. Amory on to Leatherman. Brock was hunting. Venner makes it stick, and cries of yes, Mia, echo out from the stands beneath us. Thompson, Shell, Moore, lovely hands there to find Pinnock. She's all by herself. Here comes the support. Stathopoulos there. Now this is Shell, and now there are some options. Chloe Rolly, who is a jinking menace once she gets going, finds White. White is away with the pop pass onto Rolly. Ball loose, ball knocked on. Referee happy enough with what she's seen. 6 metres there from opening their account, Trailfinders, but the pass infield just wouldn't stick. Without the ball again. The side currently down in 7th, but a much more favourable area of the pitch. Hunt's clearance, and that's the difference in a nutshell.
It is, I'm afraid to say. Look at this ambition. Look, Lisa Thompson's strength here. Fends off the player, stays on her feet. That was crucial. She had to buy time. You see how many red bodies were around her. She could have been turned over. This was the second break. My question here, where was the communication from those players in behind? Because they were there, but she couldn't hear them, and that's why she took that tackle. But still, they go again.
Okay, so
really exciting attack down the edge. And oh, if this had only got into Chloe Rowley's hands, that could have been up for try of the weekend. And we haven't even seen the other games, but I'm that confident it would have been up there.
A bye this weekend for Saracens. Bristol getting the job done against Leicester Tigers at Ashton Gate. A bonus point for them, so they stay in the hunt. Harlequins with a commanding lead up in Salford. And tomorrow, Lightning against Exeter could well have a bearing on how things finish when all is said and done after round 18. Every match matters. That's why we love the PWR as Trailfinders pile in. They identified this as a threat, Gloucester-Hartpury. They knew the maul is a proper weapon. There's the penalty right before the sticks. It's kickable.
6, changing binds.
Now this is a debate. Look, you can see players talking here. Do they go for the points or do they back themselves and try and go for that try? You said it. Trailfinders and a maul, it's one of their best strike weapons. And Hartpury, as best as they're trying to get in and disrupt that, they were deemed to have released their bind. And you cannot do that. Once you're in a maul, you've got to stay in whatever position you are in when it starts.
The front row scuttle backwards and out the way and leave it to Abby Burton. No flanker in the league beats more defenders than her. But Wood, this time finding Pinnock. 2 metres, Rory Wood up and over, and there's the score for Trailfinders. We know them for their shimmer and their dazzle, but that was just straight up stubbornness. A first PWR try for new arrival Rory Wood.
Oh, and they needed that, didn't they? 10 minutes out from half-time, and Rory Wood, she was standout for Trailfinders against Harlequins, and she's doing her thing again. Abby Burton, look at this carry now. 2 players to take her down, but what's important is they've pushed that defence back. So they've got them on the backfield. They're not coming up with intensity. Yep. And then Rory Wood, you already said about her athleticism, and she is using it. Great ambition from Rory Wood.
Pinpoint off the tee from Julia Shell. 14 plays 7 in this one. You mentioned Wood's debut. Grace White's dad was in the stands that day, and apparently he rung Grace afterwards and said, "Who is your new tight head? She is brilliant." And I think we're all getting to enjoy her now in full flight.
Yeah, absolutely. Debuted for Canada last year. I mean, 6-foot prop, I mean, that's just amazing.
She's been spending her down days out in Ealing watching Stranger Things and doing crochet. For those wondering.
Where do you get your information from? It's amazing.
Carson with the offload, wrapping around the try scorer Wood and finding else. Matthews on to Jones. Tuipulotu will take some stopping. Zachary, though, just batting the ball from the Welshwoman's hands. There's a bit of belief around Trailfinders all of a sudden.
Which is incredible, really, when you consider the opening 10 minutes and all they did was defend. And they've made it hard for themselves, not kicking their lines, not sort of pushing back and winning that territorial battle, but they have stayed in it. And that try could be the momentum changer for them.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Don't push her, use the ball. No, not yet. Not yet more, thank you.
Zachary looking out to her shoulder before opting to go herself for another precious 15 metres, almost upended by Chloe Rolly, who's doing her best pinball impression down there. Such a jinking threat once she gets going, and now Shell finds Laughlin, ball infield and back onto the fly half. She's so languid, Vicky Laughlin, beautiful once she gets motoring. Moore shaped for the offload, but instead decided to ride the contacts there. Holes opening up in this vaunted Sherry and White defence, but it can't quite be held onto there. Cooksey passing it into the chest of one of her opponents.
Advantage is over.
It's Gloucester-Hartpury's turn to not find touch. Metcalf has Laughlin in her sights, drags her into touch, but not before she can get it back into Moore. Zachary, this now Amory. Listen to the names. Like machine gun fire, the interplay so quick between Madison's charges.
Stay out, thank you, 5.
Short side they go, through Amory. Shell with the footwork, finding Laughlin. They're playing the champions at their own game here, keeping the ball alive, quick to the ruck.
Thanks.
Wood, flat and onto Pinnock. Majestic knee drive, even more majestic attempted turnover there from Aldcroft, but the ball's lost forward, and Abby Burton wondered for a moment there if she might be about to carry Mackenzie Carlson all the way to the whitewash.
That was a great bit of go forward from that lady there, Abby Burton. She had a bit of a dummy pass, just sort of sold the defender in front of her, changed the direction of run.
I haven't seen one.
Oh, it was a good challenge there from, was that one of the Hartpury players on the floor? They thought they had the turnover, but no, it's still Trailfinders' ball.
I asked Barney Madison in the week if Abby was at all surprised by being called up to John Mitchell's squad, having not been in and around one of his camps before. This, of course, the first camp of this enormous 2025 for the Red Roses. And he said she was a little bit, but I wasn't. She deserves this. She's one of the most professional athletes he's worked with, and she is dogged in everything she does. Zachary heading up down that channel. Will anyone stop Kate Zachary? Eventually, yes. It's Mohan, but they're 4 metres out from a second now, Trailfinders. What a salvo this would be. 3 metres the difference. Amory picking out Pinnock. Double shots raining in from the champions, but the gap is narrow, and there are some explosive individuals who all fancy getting hands on it. They go again through Leatherman.
Short!
Still short, our referee deems. Red jerseys packing down against the line. She's over, Tyson Bukaboom! And Trailfinders are wielding their underdogs tag like a sledgehammer at Kingsholm. 2 scores in double quick time. It's the Canadian Tyson Bukaboom, and the kick would level things up.
Another one of their strong ball carriers who's just impossible to defend when they get near the try line. But it all came from this, Kate Zachary, and that pickup. She was looking for the winger. I was like, she's too fast for the winger. She's gone. The winger wasn't there. The winger was trying to keep up with you. But she recycles it, which is the key thing. They keep that ball. They get in tight. And they are troubling the league leaders, Hartpury. This is a brilliant effort from Trailfinders.
Tyson Bukaboom, 3-time World Cupper, coaxed from Canadian shores for the first time in her career by Giselle Mather last season when she captained the side. She's a very special player, as her compatriot Shell watches her conversion attempt drift inches wide. 14 plays 12.
Well, even the most ambitious Trailfinders fan, I'm not sure they would have thought that this would be the scoreline going into half-time. But hey, they're building on that momentum, aren't they? That game you mentioned against Harlequins, that was a try-fest. And it's so good to see that that wasn't a one-off. They're building on it.
Go back, 2.
Gloucester-Hartpury score most of their points in the third quarter, but they've got a handy habit of scoring something right before half-time. Cometh the hour, cometh the venom, look at her go! Beats half of West London in a swerving slalom into the 22. And that's what happens if you have a little nap off the back of scoring against the reigning champions. You find yourself back-paddling frantically on your own try line with half-time looming large, and Sarah Beckett with the ball. Here is Else, Burton's tackle, queuing up all of those figures around the left of that breakdown. Carson brings them inches out, Hunt with the step, back against the grain, as slippery as an eel and over. Complacency in these parts will not go unpunished.
You really feel like that was a retaliation try. That was, there's been stern words under the sticks. And of course it's going to be co-captain Mo Hunt showing them what needs to be done. But it all comes from this stellar run. Mia Venner, it was almost like it was a training ground, drill, and they were told, you can't tackle her, okay, she's carrying an injury, don't tackle her, because people were just falling off her left, right and centre. Eating up the ground. They're only 5 metres out within one carry. Brilliant work from the fullback. And then Mo Hunt, she's always sniping in and around, isn't she? Waiting, always looking, spots half a gap and converts in.
This week, and she's picking up right where her extraordinarily talented teammate left off. Heike George, 3 from 3, brings up a half-time score of 21-12 here at Kingsholm. A brace for co-captain Mo Hunt, a score for Mackenzie Carson, 2 down the other end for Woods and Bookaboom. What a second half we have got to come. All the analysis from Sarah and from Philippa after this short break.
And it's absolute credit to Trailfinders for getting back into this game, because it was all Hartpury to start with. But what matters now is how important was the team chat, what was said, and how are you going to respond now second half.
Mia Venner, who has looked lively wearing 15 in the absence of the points machine that is Emma Singh, carries that one back into heavy traffic, and over the ball, respectively, Matthews, Aldcroft, Brock, Hunt with the bang over the top. Rawley's gather, and clinging onto her by just a slip of grey fabric there was Pip Pendy. Neve Jones, a 5'2" stick of dynamite, and driving Trailfinders back off that ball, making life miserable as Pinnock carries hard back towards halfway. Shot made. Zoe Aldcroft, the new Red Roses captain, the sort of tackle befitting of that title. Amory, her first start at scrum half this season. She started at fly half and she's come on as a replacement scrum half. This is her first time wearing 9, and she appeals for the penalty there.
That was an opportunity there for Hartpury, because it was a lovely tip-on pass there by the Trailfinders players. But when you do that tip-on, you must make sure if you give that ball away, you're there to ruck over. You're the next player supporting the person you've just passed to. And they were a little slow there. So Cecilia Tuipulotu was in a good position to pick up that ball, but she just wasn't on her feet.
John Mitchell saying that he picked that woman there to be his captain because she speaks through her actions, and I think that was quite loud.
That was very loud. Textbook tackle there, made the connection, but didn't just die then. She chased her feet, so really small footsteps, enabling her to drive the player back.
One-handed gather from Wood and a bouncing pass onto Amory. How impressive was Rory Wood in those opening exchanges. They're so narrow, Trailfinders. Nothing subtle about this. They're going up the guts. In fact, they're forming a maul.
She's through the middle.
Well, it works, headed in the other direction.
She's fine. Keep it up.
Why not copy and paste? Brought down by the champions and stripped to. Now they've got turnover ball, and now this is where the maul becomes problematic because they're hurtling across the field, Trailfinders, but it might be to no avail because Pip Hendy is going to floor it and scorch clear. Kingsholm, home of the Queens.
Well, we said it could all come down to who starts the best in the second half, and Hartpury have laid out their intent, that strip, that steal, and then they spread it wide. Really good work here by Hannah Jones, eating up the space, forcing the defender to come into her, so it allows Pip Hendy to get in behind. Chloe Rowley coming across there, the Trailfinders fullback. But a beautifully timed step there from Hendy just cuts her back in. So see here, Hannah Jones, she knows where the player is, but she doesn't give it too early. That's what fixes the defence.
Nikki?
Yeah.
Can you hold the kicker for me? We're going to have to show you an offside play by number 3.
Okay. TMO referral, time off.
Well, that's the voice of our TMO, David Rose. We're going to
Nikki,
review
so as
this
the ball
score
goes
and
to
listen in
floor,
here.
Yep.
Number 3 comes in from an offside position.
Yep.
She's not part of the maul, and I'm going to run it for you now. Number 3, red.
Yeah. Okay, so 3's never part of the maul, and she's offside, so we go back for a penalty.
So this is the
10.
first picture. This is the best picture you can see now.
Yeah, so she's not involved, she's never at the back foot, and then takes the ball.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
So no try.
Right.
So
Yeah.
your 3's not part of the maul, and she
It's
doesn't
on
take
the
the ball from the
10-metre
back
line,
foot.
Nikki.
So it's offside, penalty on the 10. It's a technical one, but it is offside.
Yeah, it is very technical, but it's absolutely bang on there. Cecilia Tuipulotu could have got the
Penalty on
ball
the
even
10
if she wasn't in the
offside
maul, but she
against your
has to
3.
come from the behind, the hindmost player. As you can see there, she's just on the
It's on the
side.
10-metre line, Nikki. Dead centre, yeah, where you are.
Thanks, Mo.
Sean Lynn's side will be made to wait a little longer if they're to
Offside.
clinch their
Number 3.
6th straight try-scoring
Offside.
bonus point of the campaign. And Trailfinders, through the assured boot of Lisa Thompson, will find themselves in the driver's seat.
That was assured, wasn't it? And that's exactly what I bet the halftime chat was about. When you kick, be sure, get it out, get some territory.
Stathopoulos finding more. And now that maul, which was such an agent of chaos down the other end, drew the penalty in the midfield, but now crabbing decidedly, dangerously towards the touchline. But ball whipped away and onto Thompson, still alive, still hunting for a third score. Bookaboom with a try already, and then a very gentle floated pass up and onto Woods. Amory just delaying that one and finding the chin of Pinnock perhaps before any other part of her. Shell looking to fix a couple of circus members before she can be tackled. Across the face, Stathopoulos. She's very dynamic, is the hooker, but she's quite slight with it, and Tuipulotu really made her presence felt there. In fact, ball turned over
first and then back onto it.
illegally.
Off feet.
Yeah, so she got onto the ball fine, but then a moment after she lost her balance and put her 2 hands on the ground and then went back onto the ball. You can't do that. You've always got to be in control of your body when you're over that ball.
Okay, let's go then, girls.
Okay, so we just watch it here now. Initially, look, see where she puts her hands down there. You can't do that.
Tackle!
They've gone quickly through Wood, and now they switch the point of attack. It's Burton with a scamper eventually brought to deck, narrowing the Gloucester defensive line. Skip pass to Cooksey, gets the fend away. Metcalf's done well there. 10 metres the difference. Bookaboo.
Keep moving, thank you.
Chopped by Aldcroft and then slammed by Matthews. It's percussive and it more than gets the job done. Amory finding Zachary. On barges the skipper, more driven backwards. The pressure mounting, and now they look to get it wide. That's cute. Shell with it now, dancing around the outside. Had just Venner to beat, but instead opted to get back infield.
Tackle!
Choke tackle in. Eventually she gets knees to deck. Gloucester-Hartpury told to leave that one alone. Alert to the threat of Wood, ball in hand. It's Aldcroft who shoots up and makes her shot. 20 tackles last week, the England captain made against Loughborough. Still going, Trailfinders. What a rumble that was. And now Wood has it and will have her brace if she's got that down. Trailfinders are celebrating.
Check it, girls.
And David Rose will be spooling frantically, looking for all the angles upstairs.
Field, so we've got held up in goal, unless you can show us otherwise.
Okay, you got held up, so no try at the moment. We'll check for you. Okay.
And that phrasing,
so first angle coming,
critical.
Cheers, mate. Okay, so happy the ball's grounded there, thank you.
Yeah, that's a ground in there, Nikki. You can give the try.
Well, Trailfinders fancy themselves mischief makers here at Kingsholm. That decision swiftly overturned, and Rory Wood has two.
They're just forward carries at the moment. It's their best weapon in this game. Previously, we'd say, look, get it out wide. You've got some fantastic speedsters, Laffin and Grace White. But actually, for this game, against this defence, they're being their most lethal when they're just keeping it tight and using those hard, direct runners. But you can't do that for the whole area of the pitch, which is why the territorial battle, kicking down into the right areas, is key for them.
One from two for Julia Shell. Drills it low and off the woodwork. Make that one from three. And if Gloucester-Hartpury are missing Emma Singh off the tee, then it's safe to say Trailfinders are missing Emma Taylor off theirs.
Yeah, the incredible forward that carries everything, steps everyone and kicks all the goals. And we wondered, didn't we, how much they would miss her, you know, taking nothing away from her ability, because she's a fantastic player, but credit for Trailfinders, they're really all pulling together.
Always inside, keep retiring, keep going red.
And that's what Flaky George, the woman they call 50-22, gets you. She doesn't look too happy with it, she never does. But that a very, very handy clearance, switching and fixing those Trailfinders backliners, and then drilling it out. Rory Wood, who we will shortly be naming Rory Will, in there, chatting to Stathopoulos. Hoisting up Pinnock, but the ball passed back by Else. Their line-out was perfect against Quins. 14 out of 14 Trailfinders, but it is creaking today. And Grace White did really well there to keep her eyes fixed on that bouncing ball.
Tackle!
Crashes into Georgia Brock. But she's eased the pressure. And now Bookaboo buys some yardage for Shell, who's calling for it deep in the pocket. Thought she might have kicked that one, but it's to Thompson they had instead.
Thanks, V.
Who rakes it upfield onto a lackadaisical Mia Venner. Very laid back, that one, but works nicely. And a plaiting pair of back three players there, eventually conceding the penalty. Is it safe to say they're a bit rattled, the reigning champions?
Well, the crowd certainly are. They're not liking any calls that are going Trailfinders' way at the moment. Beautiful switchback play inside here. No, I'd say that's fair. She wasn't part of Vicky Laughlin, that wasn't part of the tackle. Gets straight in and on that ball.
Back to me, mate. Use that, girls. Yes. Okay.
That's interesting. 8 penalties, Hartpury, to 7 of Trailfinders. It was basically the other way round. at the end of the first half, and it usually is a sign, isn't it? The penalties start building when the pressure is on.
And that's a very interesting change. Alex Matthews, nominated for World Player of the Year, of course, an absolute fulcrum, a workhorse within this cherry and white pack, replaced by young Welshwoman Kate Williams,
13 and 14.
who is having a barnstorming season in the PWR. 2 changes also being made by Trailfinders. Make that 3. They put all 3 of their backs onto the pitch at once. Cooksey, Laughlin and Amory are leaving us. So on comes Katie Massinson, Scottish scrum half, Liz Musgrove, who's a flyer, who also represents Brian Ethan's Scotland, and Sam Shields, an under-20s fullback. Very new to the league, but they are very excited by her.
Back by Red.
Line out doesn't stick. They are really struggling to get that particular set piece functioning today. So ball straight back with Gloucester-Hartpury, who have a fresh flanker to flax.
Go back first for me. Go back, girls, goals. Red, go back. 6.
George
6.
with the same
Go
kick
back.
we just saw from Thompson, low and over the top of the defensive line. Chloe Raleigh has just punched Steph Else back. Make that Millie Hyatt by a good 4 or 5 metres, and then Grace White, with that deceptive strength she has, brings them up and onto halfway. Burton, who's been a woman possessed, manages to fool absolutely everybody, finds Matheson on her shoulder, ball back in field, bouncing, hacked on by Burton. How she conjured that up, no one at Kingsholm has any idea, but it's worked a treat because Neve Jones has it 10 metres from her try line. George is lurking, shapes for the clearance.
Red, back first.
And now it's the champions' turn to not find touch. They find Shields instead.
Put it down.
Picked up and put down under referee's orders by Steph Else, the 2 under-20s athletes, going hammer and tongs against one another in their club colours today. Just 4 points in it. It's been a long time since Gloucester-Hartpury held a 4-point lead at the 50-minute mark. Beckett's shot. It's Thompson in at scrum half.
Thank you.
Here, her Scottish teammate finding Bukaboom, lays that back and onto Raleigh. Burton here, now Shell, out onto White, who's got Venner to beat.
Good choice, Red.
There's so many young and exciting English wingers right now. And Venner tackling White epitomises that.
No.
Referee being appealed to about something in and around the breakdown there, but play continues. Trailfinders, patient work now. Leatherman had a half gap and made the most of it. Look at them now, the reigning champions on the scramble. It's sticking plasters and gunshot wound stuff out there. Massinson, Hunt all up in her grill. Bukaboom with the dummy line. Ball doesn't find its intended recipient, so it's Else who has it now and thrusts it backwards desperately.
She's fine. There's no advantage. We go back to the knock-on.
Breathless stuff. And sighs of collective relief from the women in red.
Mo Hunt, how important was that hustle then? We talked about her tenacity that led to that first try where she just chased up in their defence.
Okay, for me,
Hartpury were going back then. That was some brilliant phases from Trailfinders. Just watch Mo Hunt there, look. Very clever, knows exactly when she can come and hustle up on that number 9. That was a key intervention then. You got a feel for Trailfinders then. That was some really good hard carrying, lots of little tip-ons. Kate Zachary in there, Tyson Bukaboom carrying hard. It's a shame they couldn't capitalise off that.
Tatiana Hurd is on for Millie Hyatt in the midfield, so expect her to carry hard off the back of this one. She's there, offering support. Ball is loose, gathered by Lisa Thompson. Still going Thompson, reaching, stretching, short. Massinson sizes up her options, picks the loose heads. And it's Trailfinders who hits the front in Gloucester. What a day to be a prop from Ealing. Olivia Leatherman with her first try for her new club and the beam to match.
What unbelievable. Sean Lynn will not be happy with that. That was a really speculative offload that wasn't really needed. When you're coming out of your 22, you just want to be safe, you want to be secure. Carry hard, set a ruck, someone kick it and get it gone. It was a speculative offload that didn't go to hand, but Trailfinders, credit to them, they pounced on it. Brilliant intensity, awareness. They are hungry for this game and they take the lead.
The Canadian ensures it's a full 7 points thanks to the American score. Olivia Leatherman, the 22-year-old from Ohio, whose first club was the wonderfully named Parma Flamingos. Well, how appropriate. We've got a flamingo performing at the home of the circus. Do circuses have flamingos? They should. That is their bonus point score. It's time to see how the reigning champions cope under scoreboard pressure that they haven't encountered for a long time. Remember, they beat Loughborough Lightning, Saracens, Exeter, Bristol, and then Lightning again in their last 5 outings. They've had things all their own way recently. Moore's offload wasn't a safe one, but it somehow managed to find Stathopoulos, who's looked comfortable on her first start. Bukaboom. And a big turnover there for Mia Venner.
Big moment there for Mia Venner. I think the crowd were quite pleased with that outcome, seeing as they felt there was a forward pass from Lisa Thompson earlier, a couple of phases before. So maybe the rugby gods intervened and made sure the ball went back to the right person. But here we go, Abby Burton again. If you want to know why she's been asked into the England squad, that's why. Athleticism, power, brilliant. And there's the steal there. Look, straight in over that ball.
21-24. Both coaches talking in the week about momentum. Momentum over the course of seasons, momentum over the course of an 80-minute slugfest. And it's time to see if the reigning champions can wrestle it back, because it is certainly with the visitors right now. Becky George is the sort of player who can change momentum, and she has done perfect work there. Sending that deep into the 22. As below us, Elle Perry prepares to enter the fray. But Mackenzie Carson will have one final involvement in this one, as these young talents, Kate Williams, Georgia Brock, Steph Else, roll up sleeves and prepare to get to work before the sheds. Cecilia Tuipulotu with the switch and stretching over just about short. There was an inch in that at most, a blade or two of artificial turf. Now the carry and the drive. There's a Trailfinder beneath that ball. Big hold up.
Driven it there, and it's
big involvement from a big game player. Lisa Thompson take a bow.
Absolutely, Lisa Thompson, and before her it was substitute Musgrove, got in under Cecilia Tuipulotu. Not many players can hold her out. Brilliant defence from Trailfinders.
Let's go then, girls.
Trailfinders, who are leading the second half 12-0. Go. Venner finding Tatiana Hurd, and this is the sort of damage that she can wreak if you bring her on and ask her to go and change the course of a fixture. Oldcroft now. That carry felt personal. That fend had real meaning behind it. Bit of miscommunication there.
It's on the right place if you want to go quickly.
Zachary thought the turnover had been enacted and she was
I'm
free
waiting to give you the advantage first, okay?
to go in. But Nikki O'Donnell, our referee, had already gifted that advantage to the hosts.
Stay on the 5.
I think in this situation, Hartpury would actually be better just getting up, getting that ball and driving, going for the maul rather than trying to go for that sort of trick play.
Girls, number 1, sub. 5's going to be you, girls. Thanks, mate.
Red Rose Mackenzie Carson is off. Red Rose Elle Perry is on, having recovered from a broken toe sustained back in October. She'll need all 10 of them now. There's a big shove coming. Jones so swiftly to the back of that one, and it's got awfully loud in here all of a sudden. The crowd hoping that every sound wave might buffet Jones over. It is tit for tat in what is turning into a bit of a classic here at Kingsholm, and it's the champions who get a whisker in front once more.
Yeah, back to basics for Hartpury. Keep it tight, use your strength. They're such a well-organised pack. Their driving maul is so hard to defend. Trailfinders do their best. Look, they're trying to twist it, trying to offset the balance and the power. But Niamh Jones at the back knows exactly where the try line is.
Claykie George puts a foot wrong off the tee for the first time this afternoon, and Ashley Wilmot, I bet you're glad you're speaking to Andrew Ford now as opposed to 2 minutes ago. Let's get his thoughts.
Indeed, Claire. Fordy, you were 9 points up at half-time. There's now just 2 points in it. It feels like this team is under pressure.
Look, I think credit to Ealing where it's due. I think they've been outstanding in terms of their goal line D and scramble D. And you know, when you put defences under a bit of pressure, they're going to do stuff to put you out of sync. And I think they've done that really well. I think for us, look, the message is you don't win a game of rugby in 40 minutes. We just need to take back a little bit of control here and finish this last 20 minutes strong like we spoke about in the week.
What were those conversations at half-time? Was it all about taking back control?
Not necessarily. I thought we controlled the game really well. I just think our transition in terms of attack to defence needs to be a lot better. Like moments like that are massive for us. Getting back down in the right areas we want to play in, force some errors, and then let's capitalise when we're down there. I think half-time, I think we'd had about 9 entries and three conversions. So I think that's not good enough for our standards. We want to capitalise on a few more of these red zone opportunities.
And I just want to ask you about Mia Venner. She was called up to the Red Roses squad this week. It's the first time we've seen her in the 15 shirt since 2023. How do you think she's doing out there?
Look, Mia's a great fullback in her own right. I think for us, it's we're very lucky that we've got Emma Singh at the club, and it's about how we get both of them on the pitch at the same time, which is why Mia finds herself in the wing slot a lot of the time. She's a very good fullback in her own right, as you saw just before half-time. So, look, an exciting opportunity for her to be out there, and let's see what she can do off this scrum.
I know you've spoken about forcing errors, but, you know, with limited time on the clock now, what do you want to see? The last quarter of the game?
For us, it's about being clinical in those championship moments. I think, you know, we've had some games this year where we have, and last year where it's come down to the last 20, and it's about us being composed, taking control, and sticking to what we spoke about in the week.
Exciting stuff.
It is indeed.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Set. Reset, girls.
Exciting stuff, Andrew Ford, and also the tagline to the PWR.
Keep your feet underneath.
Less so,
okay,
the tagline to this reset scrum, but we will get there. And Andrew Ford, who's back at his childhood club in the capacity of attack coach for the reigning champions, but also coaches Hartpury University and Hartpury College. Plenty of athletes from that vaunted pathway involved today. In fact, 38 athletes who came through the ranks at Hartpury are involved in the PWR this weekend alone. It is a production line of talent, and look at their athletes now, the pinnacle of that programme, get to work, drawing the advantage. They've got a penalty to work with here. Hunt somehow managed to not only keep hold of that, but find Venner. That time she can't. Lisa Thompson ensuring that they will need that penalty advantage.
Cheers, Finn. I'll try him straight. Who would you like, mate?
A raft of changes from Barney Madison
Girls,
will be arriving in just a moment. Here we go.
Yep.
A whole front row change. The Trailfinders bomb squad. Off head Leatherman, Stathopoulos and Wood. And what a 63.5 minutes that trio have had. And on come Liz Craik, Cass Tuffnail and Ndalwa Gwala. All internationals replacing all internationals. As we said before kickoff, they're not the biggest pack, this lot. But they are mobile, they are skillful, and they punch above their weights. The punches, though, in this moment, all being dealt by the hosts. And now another penalty.
You're fine, 16 has tackled them all.
It was
Okay,
Gwala.
you're fine, 16 has tackled them all.
Getting involved
She was
where
through
she
the middle.
wasn't allowed to there on the maul, which just allows Flaky George to crank up the pressure.
5 is you girls.
And just apologies to anybody watching on at home who might have caught a little bit of naughty language over our referee's microphone there. They're under a lot of pressure, these women. Jones, just as she did on the other coast of this pitch, with the deft delivery, a short, simple line out, keeping things straightforward, and it is straightforward that Niamh Jones is marching.
Out now.
Kate Zachary doing everything she can to disrupt this one, but Jones slingshots herself around the back of all of those bodies. Tackle needed to be made there by Shields, who puts her body on the line. But there's plenty more where that one came from. Williams carry, George's pass, finding Hendy, Venner, picking out Metcalf on the wing, whose beautiful stutter step will be enough on this occasion. And Gloucester-Hartpury have their fifth.
Rosie, on the field we have a try. We just want to confirm there's not a foot in touch.
Okay, just stand by. Go with me.
On the field is try, we're just checking touch because it's close.
So they are going to just check the sideline, make sure her foot wasn't in touch. But you said it then, the stutter step, absolutely timed to perfection. Because Chloe Rowley, one of the best fullbacks in world rugby, was coming across, had her in her sights. But it was the little stutter on the in, it just stopped. It makes Chloe check. Now let's just make sure that no one's feet are in touch there. That's absolutely fine.
Cheers, mate.
Just that little stutter just made Chloe think about the inside, and that's all she needed to just create that little couple extra inches to get her over the try line.
20-year-old Nell Metcalf waiting, like all the rest of the followers of Welsh Rugby, to find out who their new head coach will be. Hearing rumours it might be this week we get the announcement who will have the pleasure of coaching Flaky George in this year's Six Nations in this World Cup year. If only we could make that 3 points just for style. A thing of beauty from Flaky George.
That really did wiggle its way into the right position in the end. But yeah, maximum points there from Hartpury. Lovely bit of play, just releasing that outside edge. Individual skill set, footwork, allowing Hartpury to take the lead.
Just throw that off on me, mate.
Sometimes it's the glitzy stuff that wins you that all-important momentum in games, and sometimes it's a spill off a restart. This could prove important.
Girls, don't chase the space. Let's get in and get set. Thank you.
Gwala picking out Pinnock. And if the third quarter was all about getting it out wide and arcing runs and backs into play, then it has been Mall City the last 15 minutes.
Black to floor, black to floor.
Good time to be a hooker as Thompson tucks the ball beneath one arm with a hop, skip and a jump, makes an extra 5 yards. Zachary, the show and the go. Jones with the tackle and eyes for the turnover. Gwala needs to be careful not to find herself isolated here. Massenson appeals for the penalty, takes it, goes quickly, setting off towards a whole flurry of red jerseys.
Leave it now, Fox. Off it now.
No. Can he work from the Thistle? Shields now, lays it on a plate for Pinnock, who leaves Hunt flailing, but eventually is tackled. A try would put Trailfinders right back in this one, and it's the first carry of the afternoon for Liz Craik. Kaboom. Burton with a surge. She's got brilliant first step, has the double Olympian.
Hands and feet.
Gwala's in and over at Kaboom to reload. It's meaty stuff, this. Gwala again, getting low and driving, but driving right into the lap of Kate Williams. Bit of white line fever.
Bit of white line fever and very clever play by Kate Williams. If you look at that, she didn't dive at her knees to try and chop her down. She almost hugged her and took her back with her. We'll see it here again.
Let's go, girls.
She knows the law now. If you are underneath, see, she gets her leg underneath. She's not driving through the player, so she ends up underneath. It's held up and it's a kick out for Hartpury.
Tackle!
The drop out finds Thompson, who as ever is just full of running. Here's Cass Tuffnail. Came through the academy at Brunel Uni. One of the pathways that Giselle Mather painstakingly put in place to grow this programme. Thompson with the sort of dummy which make Alicia Joyce Butchers blush. Massenson on to Kaboom. This is a lot better from the visitors at last. They are stringing.
Just take your time, girls, take your time. Clock's off. Rosie, we're just going to come and check the point of contact, initial point of contact on this one, OK?
OK.
We'll take our time. OK, so I have got it high. We just want to check the initial point of contact, OK?
Just stand by, Nikki. We're just going to get the angles for you.
Cool. Live, I've got it as indirect, hitting the chest and then coming up.
Nikki O'Donnell in conversation with David Rose here about that shot on Liz Craik in the midfield.
Anything from you guys, live?
David Rose, who had nothing to do but sit back and enjoy the rugby
Here
for the
come the
first
angles
40
now,
minutes,
Nikki.
but has had a busy second half.
Oh, it's a difficult one from that angle, isn't it? Here we go,
This
we'll
is
have the
actually the
reverse.
best one here.
So it's not clear there, Rosie. I have got four
No,
making an
we haven't
effort.
got anything clear at the moment.
Yeah, so I've got four making an effort, bent at the waist, and live I've got a hitting the chest and then coming up. So I'm at penalty only.
Just going to show you one more angle, Nikki. Just bear with me. One more. That's your best angle there, Nikki.
Yeah. So is it possible to freeze it on the point of contact, Rosie, just to make sure we're getting this right?
OK, just stand by.
Because we have got a significant drop by the ball carrier beforehand, but we just want to make sure where we're entering this.
Here it comes. Oh.
1 second, mate. So
We're just going to come back to the other angle for you, Nikki, and freeze
Thank
it.
you,
Just
mate.
one moment.
We're just trying to confirm if
Here
we've
it comes
got foul
now.
play or not.
That's the point of contact there, frozen for you, Nikki.
So looking at this, I'm not actually seeing this as foul play because I don't see what more the Gloucester player can do here in relation to making a legal tackle. I was like, so actually I'm at restarting with a scrum to the team in possession because we've had an injury. I agree. Anyone disagree with that?
No, I agree with that.
Do you agree with that, Rosie?
Yeah, I think, the tackler's in a bent position. Also, the ball carrier's dropping as well. Okay. So I think you can play on from there with your original decision.
Okay, so we've stopped it for player safety because she has got caught. But for me, your player can't do any more. She is bent and making a legal tackle and the ball carrier has dropped. So it'll be a scrum black as we restart play. And we'll just check that your player's okay. Happy? Cheers, girls. Okay, be your scrum, girls. Okay, For me, she can't get any lower, and you've dropped just before contact, OK?
I think maybe that's something that Sarah Becker might just want to review and make sure she looks at her techers, because I would say one of her legs was quite straight and extended, and there was a contact with the head. So, yeah, good to see all players are up and healthy and fit, but it's something we obviously are very much aware of. We want to make sure everyone is safe. We don't want head collisions unnecessarily. So, yeah.
First scrum for that all-new Trailfinders front row, and Kate Zachary rising, straightening, and then finding Thompson, who has made real hay there.
Release!
Look at the Scottish centre drive. Massenson heading down the short side. They clearly think there's an opportunity to be had here. We've seen this pattern before. Kaboom. Over the top is Guala. Zachary again. No Trailfinder has more involvement per 80 minutes than that woman there. Here's Musgrove on her return from injury. What a beast to have the British judo champion turned Scotland rugby international back in their ranks.
Tackle!
Tufnell again, diving over the top. There was a Gloucester-Hartpury player, rising very slowly as Sarah Beckett. Sarah Beckett staying down. Gloucester-Hartpury on the counter. Jones opts to boot it away. It's a test for Shields, who will look up and see Hendy right in her vision. Half of the pitch inhaled in a nanosecond by the champions. Shell on to Rolly, who's beaten Metcalf, but no one beats Natasha Hunt, not easily. Kaboom with the no-look pass onto Guala, bringing her trademark dynamism onto the pitch. She has been everywhere. Rolly with a huge fend. Beats a pair of defenders, but it was Neve Jones still tackling. Back in defence. Burton fancies another bite at the cherry and whites. Shell. Massenson takes the sting out of proceedings. Guala getting low and driving hard. As a Gloucester-Hartpury defender off their feet. They left it well alone, so Thompson has another go. That's what we were talking about. That is the Tatiana Hurd shoot-up we mentioned. This is the 15th visit of Trailfinders into the Gloucester-Hartpury 22-15 for a return of 4 tries. Massenson looked to be heading off on an adventure on the other side of the pitch, but then floated that back in field. Gloucester-Hartpury terrier-esque at the breakdown. Craik decides to have a carry. 8 minutes remaining of this one. Just 9 points in it, but the intercept from Hurds, bringing all of that guile to the fore. A sensational read. Oh, and how about the kick from Captain Fantastic herself?
So, 9. So,
brilliant read from Tatiana Hurd there. Completely stifling and shutting down the Trailfinders attack, and then that kick, like you say, Mo Hunt, pinpoint accuracy, pushing Trail back just as you felt that Trailfinders were getting into it, getting a bit of momentum.
So for me, it wasn't a contest. Your player stepped away with one showing off.
That will be Hunt's final impressive involvement of the day. Meg Davies there is on. Another Welsh international, and also joining us is Rachel Lund, Allianz Cup captain of this side, and just part of the furniture of this club.
Let's go then.
Shire Pinnock is also done for the afternoon, so Roe Burnfield back on for good this time. Scruffy line-out ball. Abby Burton. Trailfinders, who gave Harlequins such a rattle a fortnight ago. 85 points in total in a thriller that at one stage they led 39-36. And they're giving the champions a really good go here. But Tatiana Hurd has just exploded onto the scene. Talk about a super sub.
Tackle!
Up she rises and watches as Beckett is picked out. Brock's there on the support line. Davies finds compatriot George, but it can't quite be gathered cleanly. So there's a scrum advantage for Trailfinders, who will kick it away. Massinson over the top, chasing it is Musgrove. It sits up for Liz Musgrove with just Hendy to beat. And what a return from injury for the Scottish flyer. There is a life in this one yet. And it's been brought by Liz Musgrove.
She has made such an impact since she's come off the bench. She was involved in preventing a try earlier in the game. And then to see her flying like that, what a turnover from Trailfinders. Just as you think that Hartpury are regaining control, look at this.
There, Nikki, so it's all good.
Thanks, mate.
Completely catches all of Hartpury backfield, sleep in there and just cruises it in. What a game this is.
Well, we heard Andrew Ford telling Ashley earlier on that a game of rugby isn't won in 40 minutes. It is also not won by the 15 who run out onto the pitch at the start of the fixture. These days you need 80 minutes and you need 23 women.
Yeah, exactly right. And big lungs and strong hearts, because this has been a really frantic game. Long phases of play, long defensive sets, and yet everyone's still in it. Everyone's still got clarity, still focused, still motivated, and it really is in the balance. You think of how many conversions Trailfinders missed. They could be in the lead if it wasn't for those.
If for whatever reason you are just joining us here at Kingsholm, then A, work on your time management, and B, you are reading this right. Gloucester-Hartpury, the side hunting a historic three-peat in the PWR, have just a 2-point lead over a Trailfinders outfit who promised us this was coming. Grace White said in the week, we will turn someone over. Julia Schell said earlier on this season, last year we were just dipping our toe in the PWR waters. We're looking to cause chaos in 2025. 4 minutes to decide who will leave Gloucester the happier, and that extra roll there might have been oh so costly. Lucy Simpson is on for the home side, the teenager fresh out of college. She wears 16. And also on is Beth Stafford, former Sale Sharks captain. She's wearing 19. So, how are your nerves, Lucy? Player of the match last week. She got 80 minutes up against Loughborough Lightning. A try, 9 carries, 19 tackles, and 11 out of 13 throws. Everyone at this club believes that she is a future Red Rose, and the confidence of that suggests that she is a special talent.
Step. It's just a tackle.
Throw nailed. Davies onto Hurd.
Thank you, Black.
Craik makes the tackle. We've got a sprint finish on our hands. Who's left a little something in the tank? Else is pickpocketed, and there's a scrum advantage for Trailfinders, who will need to play out from deep. They struggled badly with their exits in the first half. They're much better in this second 40, and that their 9th turnover. There are very few sides who can claim numbers like that against the side they are facing right now.
9, go back first. Thank you. Advantage is over for the scrum.
And again, touch not missed. So from the 10 metre, Mia Venner will have a little bit of a run up, but the tackle's made by White. Davies finds the Red Roses' new captain. Now she finds her Welsh fly half and offsets Lisa Coburn. Al Perry putting that big toe to the test.
Let it come.
2 points. A kicks penalty might be enough to put this one beyond reach. Might be enough to win this one for Trailfinders, but they need the territory to even contemplate these matters. And the ball is with the reigning champions, who have 90 seconds and a right storm to weather. Davies finds George. Lund onto Venner, sizing up Rolly. So quick to slam that door shut was Grace White. Williams is carry.
Thank you.
Coburn going nowhere quickly, not with Grace Moore, making pile drivers like that. Oldcroft, the try wins it. Surely at this stage, the try wins it. And just look at Lucy Simpson rumble. There's options down the short side, numbers are there, look at the hands. Jones finding Lund, who's such a big game player, she always scores when it matters most. Oldcroft, what a story this would be, what a week this would be, but held up. It's Liz Craik getting herself in and under that one and guaranteeing a grandstand finish at Kingsholm.
Oh, wow, this game, it just keeps on giving. Brilliant defence once again from Trailfinders. We talked, didn't we, at the beginning of the game. It's been a bit of an Achilles heel for Trailfinders, but they have made a big step forward in this game.
It cannot go dead direct.
They've got to play this, they've got to keep this alive. How do you get out from your dead ball area and keeping the ball alive?
It's a tricksy
knock-on advantage.
Little dropout, and it's just knocked on by the woman who was the hero moments ago, Liz Musgrove. Stafford.
No hands.
Ferociously wrapped
Advantage
up
over
there.
for the knock-on.
Knock-on advantage is over, so the clock is red. Gloucester-Hartpury surely just need to get this off the pitch. But perhaps they want the score, perhaps they want to finish on their terms and to send Trailfinders away empty-handed, deny them the losing bonus points. Davies on to Simpson. Shell shot. Davies again down this short side. Intercept. Chloe Rolly. Has she got the legs for the finish of dreams for the Scottish Flyer? Didn't back her pace, but they've made it to halfway. And look at the overlap they've got. Perfect pass from Bookaboom. Thompson finding Musgrove on the wing. None of us can believe our eyes. Kingsholm is enwrapped. They're up to the 22. A try to defeat the reigning champions in their own backyard. Can Trailfinders clinch the biggest result in their history? They have to protect this ball. They cannot put a foot wrong. Hurd shoots up. White with Lund to beat. Hurd desperately racing backwards to make the shot. Now Bookaboom, the Canadian great. Tough nails carry. Guala's clean out. Everyone from Trailfinders emptying tanks here. Hunting for something which would be utterly spectacular.
Keep moving, keep moving.
The shed is loud. Mattinson with the offload to Guala, and she's knocked it on. The most spectacular of finishes. But Gloucester-Hartpury survive. Just. The reigning champions by the skin of their teeth make it 5 straight bonus point wins since they looked around at one another after that defeat to Bristol and said, we need to get back to our identity. But speaking of identity, no one wants to play Trailfinders, but everybody wants to watch them.
Safe travels home. Take care.
in just their second season in the PWR. Barney Madison's side are making quite the name for themselves. They are fearless, they are skillful, and they have pushed the circus harder than they have been pushed en route to victory all season long. Full-time score in this one, what a game. Gloucester-Hartpury 33, Trailfinders 31. And Philippa Tuttier, you would be quite within your rights to give this to an athlete on the losing team if you so wanted. But go on, let's get your thoughts. Who is your Clinique Game Face Player of the Match?
Well, look, on that note from Trailfinders, shout out to Abby Burton. Absolutely fantastic performance. Kate Zachary was everywhere, as we always know that she would be. But my Game Face, Clinique Game Face Player of the Match is going to go to the captain, Mo Hunt. She opened up the try scoring. It was her hustle, amount of times, defensive efforts where she just got people off balance. She stifled their attack, and then that beautiful kick just before she was substituted off. It was almost like a rugby mic drop. Here, have this huge kick, and now I'm going to take a rest. Just once again, captain experience performance.
For the second time in just a few weeks at Ashton Gate, and again here at Kingsholm, where the PWR trophy will remain for the time being. Mo Hunt, at the end of a barnstorming 80 minutes, is our Clinique Game Face Player of the Match. Sarah, all yours.
And breathe, Gloucester-Hartpury fans. That was tight, wasn't it? But the champions, they take that one, but boy, did they look rattled at times this afternoon. Trailfinders came here, they smelt blood, they couldn't quite get the win, but what a match and what an ending. Congratulations to the reigning champions. And that's not the only match that's been played in the PWR this weekend. Earlier today, Bristol welcomed Leicester to Ashton Gate, and it was Ilona Ma's first home start. She was good last week at Sandy Park, wasn't she? She helped her side this afternoon too, as did Millie David, back from injury and crossing the whitewash for Bristol's bonus point try. 43-29 the final score there. And the Bears are looking good at the moment. Back-to-back wins for them this weekend as we head towards the playoff. As I said, Millie David there with their bonus point try. And up north, Sale hosted Harlequins. Both had a weekend off last weekend. Quins with a bye and Sale's match postponed due to bad weather. Quins took that one by 43 points to 10. 2024 World Player of the Year there, Ellie Kildun, scoring a hat-trick in the process. That one there was her second of the afternoon. And a quick reminder of all results this weekend then. Wins for the Bears and Quins, and Gloucester-Hartpury securing the points here at Kingsholm. But it was tight, it was close. Loughborough Lightning to host Chiefs, who were much improved in their defeat at the hands of supercharged Bristol last weekend. That match is yet to be played this weekend. Okay, let's get some reaction then, but we will do after the break. We're going to go to break now, so make sure you join us, where we'll get reaction from both teams, and we'll get some plays in studio for you too. See you back in a bit. Okay, well, it's another win for the reigning champions here at Kingsholm this afternoon, this time against Trailfinders Women, who knew they would have to bring it this afternoon. They did that, but it wasn't quite enough. It was a tight one, though. 5 tries for Sean Lynn's troops in front of their expectant fans this afternoon. A brace from Mo Hunt, and this effort here from Nell Metcalf. Gloucester-Hartpury's fifths means it's them who take the points and try to consolidate themselves at the top of the table in what is, of course, a crucial part of the season. Right, let's get some reaction now then. I do believe Ashley Wilmot has Natasha Mohant.
I do indeed. Well, huge congratulations. An exhilarating game from start to finish. Talk us through the dying moments, because they pushed you to the very edge today.
Yeah, I think we just said it in the huddle. Like, normally you win or you learn, that's the saying. Like, you learn so much from the losses, but we'll learn a hell of a lot from that game. I think the girls weren't sure of the clock. I think sometimes the clock isn't quite accurate to what the refs play, and so massive takeaway for us, but what a game to have on TNT. Do you know what I mean? Like, we want close games. We want to showcase this league in the best way possible, and that was a hell of a game to have on telly.
You came out really strong. You were 9 points up at half-time, but what happened in that second half?
I don't know, I thought we were all right. Obviously, got on the score sheet early, and then it got scratched off with Pip Hendy, and Elin came down, Trailfinders came down and capitalised on that. So it's just all about the momentum swings in the game, was just getting control of it, and that's what I mean by we'll learn so much from that game, because I think there were moments where we could have taken hold and really ran away with it, and we didn't quite do that. But full credit to Trailfinders. I think they were brilliant today. They're a quality outfit. They've got stars across. I think Tomo was outstanding today, especially like boot on ball and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll learn a hell of a lot from that, but what a game to kick us on into the next few weeks.
It's been a pretty special week for your club. You've had 10 girls recruited for that Red Roses Six Nations squad, including yourself, but also Zoe Allcroft. You've co-captained with her for a long time. So how proud are you that she's been selected as the new England captain?
Oh yeah, I think people are bored of me saying it. Like, I bang the drum about how amazing Zoe is. But honestly, I think you've seen the press and everyone on social media this week getting behind it, because she's honestly the purest human. She's an absolute world beater. The way that she throws her body around, like, you want to lead people like that. You want to follow, people like that into battle, and she's just unbelievable. So yeah, super proud. Couldn't be prouder of her.
And well done to you as well. You are our player of the match, your Clinique Game Face player of the match. I mean, you're getting a lot of these, aren't you?
I know, and actually last time I thought there was a lip balm in there, but it was actually for my eyes, so at least I know how to use them now. But yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
There's only one Mo Hunt. Disappointed that she didn't get a lip balm. There might be something in there for you today, Mo. Who knows? She's got a fair share now of Clinique products, actually. Maybe she needs to shaare them round. And I've got Zoe Allcroft here. We just heard Mo waxing lyrical about you, Zoe, calling you the purest of humans. But Zoe's first words when she came in here was, "I am frazzled." That was a tough one, right?
That was seriously tough, honestly, right to the wire. So I was excited for everyone at home, but yeah, they had us on our toes, sprinting back just then. So
yeah, it was really exciting for the neutral. It was brilliant. But I mean, we kind of saw you rattle today at different periods through that match. Why? How?
I think obviously maybe this week we've been some of us have been away and stuff, so we haven't quite had a full training week. But to be honest, Elin really gave it to us today. Like, they had some amazing passages of play, and they really brought it to us.
And it was tit for tat in that second 40, wasn't it? Was it all just about kind of bringing it back to basics halfway through that second half?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, in the first half we tried to do our tip game a lot, but we were losing it at the breakdown, so we just were like, right, let's go direct and kind of play it that way. But it was just about keeping hold of that ball and keeping it safe, but also in defence getting back and getting off the line.
And we predicted a high scoring game today. Well done us. But I mean, coming into this one, I think both of you scored kind of 111 tries between you, I think. But we certainly got what we came for today, Philippa.
Oh, it was entertaining stuff. And I guess, we've been talking so much about how you guys are peaking at the right time, but maybe was this the game you needed? Is this that challenge that you need to really prepare yourself to go on, hopefully, a championship winning run?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we live for these competitive games, and for us to be able to have to play that full 80 minutes, be put to the test right until that 80th minute.
I think it was 82, actually.
82, yeah, I can tell those extra 2 minutes. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely that'll put us in good stead on the way forward.
How difficult is it for a team to when you've got so many internationals in your squad, how difficult is it balancing it when you girls are away, with the squad that remain here? Is it that tough?
Well, we've got some really good young guns coming through, and it kind of gives them the chance to step up as leaders. Like Steph Els did an amazing role this week of getting the line-outs going and doing the team talks, which was really good. So when me and Mo came in on Thursday, we kind of took a little step back and let those girls kind of take reins a little bit. So it's really good to see the younger ones coming through and hearing their voices as well.
Right, we're going to talk about you now. None of you guys like talking about you, but I feel like I should be like curtsying or bowing now that you are the new Red Roses captain. Massive congratulations. So, what are the emotions that came with that? How were you told?
So Mitch gave me a phone call a couple of weeks ago now. And told me, but yeah, it's a massive honour and privilege to get the England captain role. Obviously, you've got a great bunch of Red Roses out there with me, so yeah, amazing feelings.
I'm really enjoying, or I'm going to enjoy, I think, the dynamic of that whole leadership team with you, Meg and Marley. I mean, what do you all bring to that leadership team with you at the helm?
So we've got Marley and Meg who are great energy bringers. Obviously, Marley, she's that motivator. She loves to like fix any issues going on. She's like amazing for that. And then Meg, she's obviously massive energy. She's got great humility. She's just hilarious to have and just a great leader, like putting her body on the line each week.
Zoe, always great to talk to you. Congratulations on the win. Not many rounds left now, though, right? You found the defence of your title a little tougher?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely, we're going to have to fight. Obviously, we started the league off. We were a little bit behind, losing those crucial games, and then obviously kind of turned it around. So it's just about now keeping that foot on the throat and obviously building. Obviously, this week we'll do a lot of learning from this game today, and then going forward from there.
I will leave you get back to your troops. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very good to talk to you as always, Zoe. Congratulations. We'll leave you go. Thank you.
Congrats.
See you later, Zoe. Can I hand this to you, Philippa, for 2 minutes? I can't multitask. I can't talk and read and hold two mics at the same time. Okay, so we have a bumper weekend of rugby coming up for you on TNT and Discovery Plus next weekend. The Gallagher Premiership returns, of course, following the European break, and the PWR season reaches round 15. It all kicks off 7 p.m. on TNT1 on Friday night as Harlequins welcome current champions Southampton. We travel to Leicester on Saturday for some PWR action. Then it's the battle between 4th and 5th in the Gallagher Premiership as Gloucester host Leicester. And then we've got loads more matches coming up as well next weekend, all finishing off with the rugby review. Philippa, thank you for your time as ever. Do you want me to grab that mic back off you?
No, this is going on eBay.
You'll get measure it. Guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Congratulations to Gloucester-Hartpury. Thank you for your time, Philippa.